What's up guys, it's Birdman and welcome back to KSP. We're going to start today's episode by spending the science we made in the last episode. The slightly more keen observers amongst you might notice I've got more science than I ended the last episode with. That's just because I did a little test flight, nothing exciting, nothing that really left the atmosphere, but I did get a bit of science from it, so that's why. Now, we've got a choice of science upgrades. We can go for these radial engines with long tanks. We can get cranes, struts, and some other stuff, and that's obviously very useful because struts hold everything together, literally everything. This gives us some stability control, some robotic control, and some spaceplane beginners. And this gives us a landing engine, a landing strut, and a radial parachute. So I think we're going to leave this because we're not close to landing on the moon or anything. I think we still need to get into lunar orbit. So I think we should make lunar orbit our goal. Now for lunar orbit we could probably do with... I think we can leave that because that's just two smaller tanks stuck together. We don't need those, we've got engines as it is. We could do with struts and cranes, but it's not essential. Essentially we've got... So I think I'm going to go with this. I think we're going to go for struts, cranes, more radial decouplers, and a stack tricoupler for 45 science. So that's all of our science spent. And that opens up these what looks like monopropellant options with fuel pipes, very important for asparagus staging. Then we've got these structural pieces and some serious spaceplane parts. These are obviously the parts you need to make proper planes, but without these you'd be struggling to fly. Okay, so I think we're going to go with this, and I'm going to try and build a rocket that can get into orbit around the moon. We'll see. So obviously this is the Science Mark III, and I'm going to make my improvements to it and get right back to you. Okay, so here it is, the Science Mark III. As you'll see, I've used pretty much all the parts I got in that new pack. I've got the struts connecting it all together, the tricoupler tripling our initial thrust, SRBs as before but with wings, and cranes to hold it all in place. We've got our SAS on, we're going to throttle up, and we're going to launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. So I don't think we'll need all this thrust to get to about 200 meters per second, but I'm pretty sure we can get this thing to orbit, and then we'll just see how much fuel we've got left, and possibly see if we can go to the moon. I don't know. I mean, I've got 3 times as much thrust, but I've got 3 times as much weight, and essentially it's going to burn through at the same rate, so I don't think... I don't know how much difference having... That's so funny, it's going off target because of the SRBs. Maybe I should have got those spin stabilizers. But yeah, I don't know how brilliant this is going to be. I'm just kind of curious to see what it'll do. It's trying to go north, annoyingly. We don't want to go north, we want to go east. So I'm dragging it with all the force I can give it, but it's not actually changing. So hopefully when we ditch these SRBs, like so, they'll blow our engines off, and that will be the end of the flight. Okay, time to make some adjustments, I guess. Be right back. Okay, so our SRBs have run out, and they still knocked our engines off. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so I've tried a different technique, different SRBs, possibly less destructive, although they are throwing me way off course. I don't think it's very good, but hopefully we can adjust once we get rid of them. So now I've got rid of them, I want to point my rocket. See, this is the trouble. I don't have any guidance systems on my rocket, so it just seems to just sort of go where it wants as opposed to where I want. I forgot to throttle up there as well, so that's a good waste of some fuel, but let's just point over here at sort of the 90-ish. We don't actually need to gravity turn just yet. We need to get our prograde back over from the north to eastward direction. Let's see. I think we can do this. Trouble is these guys don't gimbal, so maybe I have to switch them for gimbaling engines, but I sort of hoped they would just work. I guess that's probably too much to hope for my shoddy rocket design, but seems we've got things back on track. Getting up to 10,000, I'm going to start a gravity turn, and I'll see you guys probably when we're in orbit and going to start heading for the moon. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Ta-da! Made it into an orbit, and look at that, 80,000 by 81,000. It's a pretty circular orbit, and we've still got just a smidge of this fuel left. However, this rocket is awfully cumbersome, and I don't like it very much. So I'm going to decouple and leave that in orbit to spend its days drifting in space. And this is going to be, hopefully, the stage that gets us to the moon. So, standard stuff. I'm going to do the non-maneuver lunar transfer, where you point at the horizon and wait for moonrise, and then just shoot for the moon. So hopefully it'll turn up soon, possibly. This is actually a technique I got back when maneuvers weren't in the game, and this was just how you got to the moon. You couldn't sort of plan it with a maneuver, and it just seems to be flawless, really, for a basic moon transfer. There probably are more efficient ways and ways to get like nice returns if you use maneuvers, but something about sticking with what you know. And what on earth is that? That is definitely some sort of vessel over there. You see that there? I'm going to have a look on the map, put my debris on. It's the thing I just jettisoned, of course. That was silly. Okay, well, we can now see that floating off into space. Well, I say floating off into space, orbiting Kerbin. Let's keep whizzing around until we see the moon. Perfect. Oh, kill that time warp and find the horizon. Like I say, this is probably not the most technically perfect way to get to the moon, but it works, so I'm going to do it. And now we need to activate this engine and throttle up. Okay, activate this engine. Perfect. There we go. I'm just going to point at the horizon and burn our apoapsis until we get a nice moon intersection. I'm going to go full throttle. We've got 1.5 tanks on this stage, but this is quite a thirsty engine, so I think we'll do all right. But hopefully, I'll sort of wait and see. But yeah, there you go. Moon at about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Burn for 12, and we should get. Oh, just slow it down. Somewhere about. Yes, brilliant. Okay, do I want to orbit the moon, or do I want to do a pass? Let's see what our fuel situation is. Okay, we'll orbit. So, we've got our tasty intersect, and I'll see you when we get close to that periapsis. Okay, so we're about a minute away from our periapsis. We're going to find our retrograde on the navball, as ever, just about there. Stick our rocket in that direction, and should just throttle up. Perfect. Still more than half a tank. Doesn't take much to get into orbit. Going to kill it there. Just take a look. 4795. Okay, so we're in a high orbit. What I'm going to do is take. I'm not. I'm worried. We don't have batteries, and we have limited electric charge, and we need the electric charge to pilot the ship. So I'm nervous to transmit data because obviously that uses electric charge. But we can get more science. So I think it's sort of like a compromise between getting home and getting science. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one mystery goo from a high lunar orbit. Yep, space high over the moon. The goo feels right at home. 30 science. You see, if we keep it, we get 30. If we transmit it, we get 12, I think. My maths isn't great. So I'm going to keep it. Everything's attached to the return module. I don't think we need to transmit anything. It's just if we want to do multiple. Oh, I tell you what. Let's transmit it and see what it does to our. Oh dear. Okay, that was a bad move. We're going to have to just observe it then. Hopefully we'll get some charge back when we burn again, because we'll get into a low moon orbit as well. We're just going to keep that data. We're going to do our crew report and EVA stuff in a low moon orbit, and we're going to try and make it quite low because I've noticed we've got quite a lot of fuel. We're a little bit wonky here, but I'm not worried about that as long as we can get home. Let's go down to our. I suppose just get to the periapsis, and then we can lower our apoapsis a little spin round, and everyone will be happy. Okay, standard moon stuff. You've all seen it before, I'm sure. Only this time in career mode with somewhat limited parts. So there is our prograde. What have I done? I need the retrograde. Slow ourselves down. Okay, it's over here. Perfect. Let's have a look. Burn that way. Now if I burn over here, I bet I can flatten this orbit out at the same time. Maybe. Oh, it's wobbling. Okay, we're going to need about. Oh, brilliant. So our data sent and all our charge is gone. Perfect. Okay, let's get our periapsis nice and low to about 6,000 meters. That is going to be skimming the surface, which is just what I want. Hopefully that's enough. I'm going to take SAS off so we don't use any more electric charge. Hopefully that's enough to reorientate ourselves when we get around to the other side, but who knows. So let's get around to the other side. It's going to speed up as we warp, so I don't want to go too quickly. Okay, here we go. Okay. Wow, this is a really wonky orbit. Don't know what I've done to this. Actually, how much fuel have we got? We've got loads of fuel. So, I'm going to add a maneuver to. No. Okay, like I said, not that used to using maneuvers, so bear in. Just give me some patience, basically. That'll flatten it off, and then we want to bring in. Flatten off a bit, and then bring in our apoapsis to about. No, smaller still. Okay. 7,000 by 5. No, that's be higher. Okay, 6,000 by 10,000. That's fine. Yeah, just like I say, hopefully we've got enough... has it saved that? Yes. Hopefully we've got enough charge to point it in the right direction. So let's have a look for it. Oh, goodness me. Okay, I think we're going to do this. I think we're capable of doing this. And of course the burn, although it's only 4 seconds long, will give us a bit more charge. So, node in 30 seconds. Speed up a little bit. 20, 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and burning there. Okay, let's kill that, see what we did. 6,000 by 18,000, we could burn a little bit more, but I'm just going to do it on the straight up retrograde because I think we're flat for all intents and purposes. So, burning on the retrograde for about a second. Actually, I can do low thrust burn and save the fuel. I don't want this to get too low, 6,000 by 7,000. That's fine, that's a wonderfully low orbit. We are going to be positively skimming the surface of the moon. So here you go. We are fantastically low over the moon. Bill is having a slightly nerve-wracking time there. He's about to get out and do an EVA report, so it's about to get even more scary for him. But while we're up here, let's observe our mystery goo. Near the moon apparently gets you the same amount of data as high moon, but you know, it's part of the experience, I guess, trying to gather it. So that's 60 data. We got about, what was it, 12 from this, and then 24. So we're doing well for science. We can definitely get some. Oh, don't mind the electric charge. Okay, we're going to do a crew report. 15 science value. Look at the surface of the moon and try to find a good landing space. The inside of the craters might be the best option. Okay. Now, how much does 5 minutes take to transit? I don't want to find out. It's not worth the risk. So I'm going to get around to the sunny side to do our EVA. There's a beautiful sunrise over the moon, and wow, look at these craters. I mean, this is the way to see the moon, skimming along it at 500 meters per second, just above the surface. I mean, we are very close. Right, we're safely on the sunny side now. I'm going to get Bill out on his spacewalk, and he's let go. Good one, Bill. Bill, would you like to regain consciousness? Ah, there we go. Activate your jetpack, Bill. Nice one, Bill. Okay, now, Bill, I'd like to do an EVA report. Okay. We're on the far side crater, apparently, so this must be a sort of lunar biome of sorts. I don't think I turned SAS on, or at least this thing is moving quite a lot. And Bill is in a bad orientation. Right, well, this is going to be a tricky one to get into, but I think we can do it. Just need to slow everything down a bit. It's because we're travelling, everything's moving. Everything is moving. So let's get close to the hatch. Where is the hatch? Oh, the hatch is on the bottom. This could be interesting. Okay, let's just kill our relative movement. So you can see that it's spinning. I obviously didn't put the SAS on before I left. Honestly, Bill, always put the handbrake on before you get out of the car. Okay. Let's go up a bit. Down a bit. Oh, that's just... Whoa. Up a bit more. Grabbed. Nice one, Bill. Stored his experiment. Okay. We've still got electric charge. We've still got fuel. I think we can take this home. So what am I going to do? I guess I'm going to burn here and do something like... Oops. Not like that. Something like... Maybe I'm burning the wrong way. What if I burn here and burn that way? No. Oh no, okay. What if I burn... No, don't want to escape orbit of Kerbal. That would be bad. Okay, obviously... What if I burn... I don't know. Why can't I work out how to get off the moon? I've done it plenty of times before. I'm just having a brain fart. So I'll set up the maneuver and I'll get back to you when I'm just about to burn. Okay, so we're coming up on our node. I'm just going to find our what we have to point at. And the way I've set it up, it took me a while to work out, but I think I've got it set up right. So I'm going to burn from the back of the moon away from it, and it should put us in Kerbal atmosphere off one burn. So even though we'll probably have fuel spare when we get home, but oh, I've missed my burn. Let's throttle up. Is it changing anything? It is changing something. Very good. Just going to stay on that little nodule. Okay, bring that periapsis down. Whoop. A little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, 55, 30. 30,000. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to see you guys when I'm re-entering the atmosphere with all our wonderful science that we've collected. See you in a bit. So, here we go, burning up. There's our fuel tank burning up. We've just separated and we're coming in hot. Going to be a splashdown. There goes the drogue chute. So, everything's going to plan. As you know, it takes quite a while of re-entry before we get anywhere sort of scientific. So I might just see you guys after we've recovered it. We can review the science, and then I think I'll call that it for this episode. So look at this. After a successful splashdown, we have gathered a total of 125.9 science on this mission, giving us a grand total of 151. I think it's time for some upgrading. We've got 15 science from this, crew reports, EVA report got us another 24, our mystery goo got us a bunch, and of course the return of the vessel got us some more. So, all round successful trip, and you can look forward to what I spend it on in the next episode. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.